James? Um, it was okay. How about yours, James? Jesus. Hey, what's up, James? Coco? I'll, I'll say it that way instead, Coco. Alright, try to finish up these assault intercessors, and then GW keeps changing stuff, and they made regular intercessors really good. They made Stern Guard veterans decently good. So it's kind of like now I have to kind of paint those models. I didn't intend to paint them, but now I might have to. Just because of the changes that GW did. I mean, I really wish they didn't freaking up Gilliman so much. Gilliman went up like 60 points, back to almost his original cost, I think. So it's kind of a bummer, but Oath of Moment definitely got better for Codex compliant Space Marines. Because they get now on their Oath target, they get rerolls to hit, and then they get +1 to wound, which is, in my opinion, can be better than full rerolls. Because, you know, there are models in the game where you have kind of like twin link abilities, so getting full rerolls to wound doesn't really work for them. But if you have twin linked, so you get +1 to wound and full rerolls to wound, then that works better. Where you can start punching up a lot easier. what do you play, Coco? Which Marines though? Hey, think. I don't really play. I don't like 10th edition. You don't like what? What's wrong with 10th edition? Okay, looking good. Mr. Good. What do you mean you don't like being able to screen? Are you talking about like Crusader? Uh, yeah, Crusade? Also, some World Eaters. Ah, I see what you're saying. Well, that's the thing for me anyway. Actually, I ran into that. Crusade's pretty fun. I played Crusade. My Tau got severely overpowered and no one wanted to play against me. I'm like, come on, guys. I utterly dominated the game. Me and another person did. I think I think because he got to play more, that he beat me in terms of number of conquered, what you call it, areas. So Coco, I will say, I mean, that's the thing that kind of, for me, I enjoy challenges. And don't get me wrong, like if the models are just severely weak, that kind of just sucks. I played Tau when they were the second from the bottom, but was still winning games. And then by playing games like against armies that you're talking about, it makes me rethink my army. And that's what I've kind of been doing with my, at least, Space Marines. Now Tau went up to 50% win rate, so I swapped to Marines, which are second from the bottom again. I'm not saying I'm picking horrible teams, but I'm just saying it just so happens what I'm playing at the time. I've been good a long time now. Well, yes, ever since their Codex release, I believe. I can't remember when, but I haven't played Tau since their Index, essentially. I played Crusader in 10th edition, so I didn't have access to a lot of Tau Crusader gear when I played it. I had just the basic stuff. Playing Tau when we had 84 weapons, removing whole squad. You mean when Tau was severely overpowered, had to move, shoot, move, and all that? I heard about that. I didn't play them during that time. Min max and trying to win. Well, I mean, what do you mean by trying to win? No, this is for that. Yeah. Ah, I'm a bit confused about the trying to win part. Like, I mean, I haven't done min max. Yeah, I don't. I play what I like, and then I adjust accordingly how I see the goes. So, but I don't understand how you hate the fact that people charge forward and all that when they're doing kind of the same thing that you are, though. Each edition usual until they change the rules. It sounds small. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, you're not. I mean, it's smart in terms of business prospect, and it's not too bad in terms of the player, because what I intend to do is I intend to collect the majority of the models anyway. But it's something that you collect over time for sure. But it does suck that if you can't afford new models and all of a sudden the models that you have just suck. I'd still play. I just enjoy the game that much. I mean, I play to try to win and I play to learn. And I just learn, well, by playing, of course, and learn what I need to get. I just noticed that it turns out to be just mostly melee focused towards the middle. So that's the reason why I have assault intercessors, is because we're just going to be in each other's face anyway. Might as well have a good melee unit. I put them in reserve and then bring them into reserve, bring them from reserve. That way they're not shot off the board. You run the risk of failing a charge for sure, but at least you get the chance to charge. With a full unit, by the way. I remember my aggressors coming in from reserves and then failed to charge, and they got blown off the field that turn. So 240 points down the drain. It ate up shots, and I still won the game, but yeah. What's HTH? Speaking probably pro terminologies here, which is not me. Remember the Wolf Scouts. Hand to hand. Uh. Well, Wraith Guard. Those are the small ones, aren't they? I mean, hey, look, as an Eldar player, you have no right. For the longest time, you're like top dog, like 76% win rate. Jesus Christ. Just wiping out models. I would say if I did play Eldar, I did want to go like the Wraith stuff because they look really cool. The units really look cool. Ayenden, I have no idea what those are. I'm guessing it's a type of Eldar detachment. I think then I thought about maybe going to Yanari, because the undead. I guess those are technically the oh, Wraith contracts. Okay. I honestly was gonna go like the big Wraith construct, because I wanted to play like Titans, like few models, but not go with the Imperial or Chaos Knights, but just a the Xenos army of it. Closest one I could see was Eldar, but they don't have a lot of models though. You get Wraith Lords, Wraith Guards, and whatever those big guys are, whatever they're called. Small armor, but looks nice. Two Guardian squads. Jesus Christ, 9 bright lances. Wraith Lord hits on force? Wraith Lord, Wraith Guard. Because they're constructs, right? Is that the reason why? I mean, it's kind of like Tau with their freaking all they are is just a shooting army. They literally have no melee, but they are hitting on force as well. What's a Spirit Seer equivalent to a Space Marine? Is that like a, well, obviously they're all librarians, but on threes. Makes sense. Kind of getting big stealth suits. Oh, what? Are you copying me here? With my stealth suits? Is that why? Yeah, I want to get 9 of these guys. Usually Wraith Guard has. Damn, 18. That's already maxed already. Did you say Ghost Kill? You said big stealth suits. You mean the Ghost Kill? Hey, what's up, Kit Bash? Why does painting for money make you angry? I mean, I guess that is true, isn't it? No problem, Kit Bash, man. Work is definitely more important, man. That's how you pay for your hobbies and your place to stay too, and food and drinks. So I painted them white, and I don't have contrast paint. I have regular. Here, let me finish this guy real quick. Let me finish the blade, I guess, first. So I don't have contrast paint. I can't afford GW paint. It's too expensive. I buy Liquitex paint and get 40% off that. So, oops. So I no longer buy acrylic gouache. I no longer buy the gouache version because it's pretty expensive. This is like 2 ounces is about like 10 to 15 bucks, somewhere around there, depending on it, depending on the color. So I don't get this anymore. Although I did because it's the higher premium brand, premium version. So what I get now is, let me try to grab it. Boom. This is, I forgot how much this one is actually. Maybe 10 to $15, and it's 13.5 fluid ounces. So there's a lot of it. And the basics is actually really good. I'm quite surprised. In my opinion, I haven't used as many basics as I'd like to because I bought the gouache first. Is that when you put them in like, and these things, it actually, how do I say, it really goes well. You don't need to dilute it anymore. This does a great job of diluting the paint a bit to make it smoother. But to get my contrast paint, I just use these bottles as a way to know. It's like, oh, this is Ultramarines blue red shade. I put some of that liquid basics in here, and I put some Flow-Aid. This diluted Flow-Aid. I think it's supposed to be like 1 parts Flow-Aid and 20 parts like distilled water. So I have that mix in here. Although I probably have a lot more paint in here than Flow-Aid, so I need to keep adding. As I remove paint, I add Flow-Aid and mix it up to get the contrast-like paint. So that's my contrast paint. Similar idea, but I guess you could say it's a cheaper method. I don't know. It's a method. I do have actually. So this is their essentially what they're primed like, just white. And then I paint the living crap out of them with the blue. Hoping to get that right mixture so it looks like contrast paint, I guess. but more along the lines of getting those false edge highlighting. Still need to do their eyes. Oh, paint. Who you, who you playing as, who you playing against. Don't forget to take pictures. Although I will say I failed to take pictures of my game against friggin' the Plague God, uh, Plague Marines, Death Guard. Well, I've been waiting for you. We almost the ship stats and all that. I'm not necessarily too interested in because I have no idea where that stands. But like information about things, the world itself, because I don't know who in particular I would be interested in. Although I'll say there was one. It's been a minute though. Playing mids versus Space Marine, 500 points. Ooh, that's pretty small. There's the Dark Angels person that I want to play against. At least 500 points so I could learn. You better ask questions, Paint. Out this way. And did you think about the female part of it? Like I was asking you, do you know why I asked? I think I said it. A couple of podcasts and channels that use Tabletop Simulator. It's actually Tabletop Simulator makes gaming a lot much easier because you can roll the dice and you can be precise with your movement. And there's no models to clean up, afterwards, or terrain to clean up. It's just, I'm sure the setup of it's like the most difficult part of Tabletop Simulator. But once you're set up, like playing the game looks to be easy. Because you can get precise measurements in it. I do wonder if the future of gaming is going to be in Tabletop Simulator. Starting Thursday forward, I'll have winter breaks and more time to be on stream. Hey, no problem, man. Focus on your college, man. That's more important for sure. So mind you, Pink, they did make some changes though. So I don't know how much of the NIDs they've changed. Well, it's just the reason why I pointed out more specifically is because she talked about that very specifically in the lore. So I assumed everything else was of normal nature, and then all of a sudden this was a little bit different. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people don't have, people don't really think about the lore that much, maybe. Some people don't. But I wonder how some things work sometimes. Marines are magnetized, nice. Oh, you saw that? Yeah, of course, man. Got to be magnetized for sure, for sure. Kind of like these are bases that I made myself and then magnetize. Speaking about magnetize, I'm going to show you. So, show you one of my earlier models. I mean, back in the day, dude, you couldn't do magnetization because every freaking thing was pewter. Almost everything was pewter, and there's no way a magnet was going to hold a pewter model down, especially the bigger ones. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Fully, but I only came up with the idea of female tribes for long after I had. Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, like I mean, a lot of people tend to study a little bit of history and war and how civilization works. The future of your civilization or your culture is your females because of how well reproduction work. So if you're sending your futures, what keeps your culture alive to die, your culture is not going to live for very long. Now, unless, like I told you, did you look up what I said? I told you something specifically. I wonder if you remember it, Paint. We used to use and metal shots. It worked, made them heavy. The metal shots models. I used I don't know if I have any models here that has it. Let me see. Oh, this is what I used. This is like Play-Doh. Not Play-Doh, but like a little bit more of the professional version. It made the bottom really heavy. And here's one of my models that I painted a long time ago, back in 3rd, 4th, or 5th edition. But this is not the magnetized version. Anyway, and this is my custom base. I fit a um, perfect size for the magnet, so it's not bumping up. But more like this guy. So magnetized. Boom. He lost his arm. Boom, his other arm. And get that head out of there. I bought a demon prince just for the purposes of doing this. My first fully kind of custom damaged marine. Double power fist as well. Green stuffed the leg because there's no leg that bent like that. As you can kind of see, I made it look like he got shot in the leg or hit in the leg where it's bleeding out. literal damage to equipment. He's all plastic, so except for the demon head, it's actually metal, and you can see the little thing I had on him. Oh, oh. This is actually an original base back in the day. You can always, back in the day I heard that you can always get bigger bases, you can't go smaller. So you can literally have your character on a dreadnought base if you wanted to. Well, I need to put magnets on this guy. Ooh, actually, I need to put magnets on Titus as well. Here's definitely, I'm definitely gonna put this guy into action. My Titus character. It looks pretty good on the screen. Looks better in real life though. Yep. They were worried about getting more models around something. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, this guy's gonna go in action. He's gonna be my official one. I have like, well, I guess I'm terrible, anyways. Yeah, man, I thought it looked really cool, so I was like, oh, why not put it in there? You know, that's what the lieutenants have anyway. So I have paint. I just actually watched it today. The show approval stated. What about getting more miles around something? Okay. Ooh, I might have to end early. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did 5 of them. As a matter of fact, I still need to use the gold paint. The other chapters can always get away with being kind of sloppy, but Ultramarines set the standard. Have you been a fan of Ultramarines since the beginning? Like, since the most hated guy in the galaxy wrote them? Oops. It's still a little wet. I like them because of their color. And I remember whenever I played, it's like, oh, another Ultramarines player. I'm like, okay. It's like, oh, it's just this guy that wrote the lore. They're so overpowered. It's like, well, I have nothing to do with that guy. And Vanilla Marines, come on. I mean, I was looking at some other characters, and some of those other characters are like super overpowered as well. It's really weird. Did you want? We don't have anything special, but we set the standard. Yeah, that's right, Coco. I'm gonna wait a little bit, Paint. I've been meaning to keep finishing these guys up, but I'll take a look. Hopefully, I'll take a look at it while I'm doing nothing at work on my lunch break, because I don't think there's too much left. I mean, a lot of it was explanation about ships and stuff, which I'm not necessarily interested in because I don't know anything about the ships. Being them showing what their equipment off, it's not something that necessarily that you read in books and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's good information to know if you do like if you're very like heavy into lore, especially like people who are fanatic about like ships and stuff. Not so much me. Their game store, if you won Ultramarines, you knew how to play. You had to earn your wins. On paint note, are you going to ink the goal? Liquitex acrylic ink, iridescent bright gold. I have a couple of these bottles that were on sale for like $5. I'm like, heck yeah. And they work as good as let me see. I think this is the similar disc gold, I think, from Vallejo. No problem. I will put a version. Maximum mostly for me so that I can remember the lore. It's helpful to get that. Exactly, exactly. Like, whenever you watch like Star Wars and Star Trek, you don't necessarily need to know what the guns and all that is equipped with, but there are people out there who are like really love the details kind of stuff. Me, not necessarily so much per se. Um, like, I mean, in terms of gameplay, yes, I want to know like plasma weapons, what's its strength and AP, and what it's capable of. But when you watch like the secret level stuff, like no one knows like what a plasma pistol does or what does this, the Iron Halos in their backpack do. It's just really cool. Like, do they care what it does? Not necessarily. But if they need an explanation for something, then you can say, yeah, the Iron Halo there actually generates a force field that protects them from, harm. And it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. They don't really need to know bolt shells. I thought it's like 99.9 millimeter bolt shells. So, and I completely understand, Paint, that that's more of a reference for you to like detail out everything so that whenever you're writing the story, you know, and that's a good idea because there's a lot of people out there who tend to forget some things. GW. Excuse me. I love how Titus just walks through a bug and it just explodes. Oh, bug. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he ran at it, mind you. I don't know. Like, I swear, like, the GW needs to thank whoever created Space Marine 2 because that got so many people interested in Warhammer, man. It's crazy the amount of people that got interested in Warhammer. Again, two people in my gaming store started behind a whole bunch of Warhammer stuff. And and then you see a whole bunch of YouTubers who now are getting into like the lore and stuff of it. And Bricky, I'm sure, has some thinking to do for Space Marine 2 on that end. More like a power walk. Power walk. I kind of watched the Pac-Man. I watched the Once and Forever King because it reminded me of King Arthur. That's one of the books of King Arthur legend, and it was okay. It's kind of funny. There's Arnold in there. Kind of want to watch the Pac-Man one. See what that's all about. I have to get to bed. Have a bio clean. Bio clean, man. What the heck happened in there? Someone didn't make it to the toilet in time or something? And have spaces that have become unlivable or after someone has passed. Ooh, oh, okay. Dang, man, that could be kind of some crazy work. Yeah, I'm sure. Breaker is bought by when they rewrote female Custodes, he defended it and said it didn't matter. Just undermined everything. Don't worry. Matter of truth made as my roles equivalent to a space marine, but not even close to a space marine. Yeah, that makes sense. I think so. I was watching a few things here. So apparently, apparently maybe one of the original creators, they had actual female space marines. It's just that they never sold, so they just decided to start creating male space marines. So in terms of perhaps lore, that there were female space marines. However, what I think should happen is the sheer fact that um, how to say this, how people buy their products creates the lore. So because no one wanted female space marine, because obviously females didn't really play 40k. If there are very few of them. So by that cause alone, changed the lore of 40k. Because there are games out there that have the show, and what happens in the game can change the show, and some people who how they vote will change the game or the show. I literally haven't seen before combat. Yeah, yeah. For me, I think it's wise to just let Space Marines be males only, and it's fine. And they have Sisters of Battle who are just females only. I think that's great. Although I've heard arguments that in the lore that the custodians have always been male too. From the lore itself, it's like I don't know why, but I mean I get it. They're genetically modified, but the problem for me, bottom line is, dudes are heroes and chicks never will. They already had Sisters of Silence. They should have made Sisters. They should have made yeah. Sisters of Silence should always be sisters. Should make them better too. Anyways, I understand that they're genetic modified, but the problem is that the female custodies lose their femininity. They end up becoming just males in anyway. So it's like what's the point? Female males is all they are. They have almost no attributes that are female. So it's kind of like by putting a female in the custodies, you're removing everything that is female from the female and make it into a male. So at that point, you're just defeating the purpose, in my opinion. uh, Sisters of Battle makes sense to me because there are crazy women out there, and they will put on that suit and they'll go ape shit crazy on it, And it's power armor suit in a sense, so it does make them stronger. Sisters of Silence, I love the fact that I think only females can be voids, I believe. I don't know, but so far it seems like it, or at least they tend to be the majority, and I'm perfectly okay with that. And that custodies need to have Sisters of Silence close by to help fight against the warp creatures. Although I've heard like sometimes they sacrifice them or something. I don't know. It's like their well-being is not exactly top priority. Again, purchasing power, kind of modifies the story. So, like, I would love for GW about it's just the hive mind loves you all the same. Just get into my stomach. I do wonder if the hive mind gets like bowel irritation from eating like I don't know certain kinds of space marines or whatever. All right, see you, Pate man. The thing is for me, it's like it's been like this for a long time, and GW had made a decision to stop making female space marines, and has never really introduced female custodies as well. And to me, it's a lot more than just throwing a female version of something out there. Whenever it loses all feminine characteristics, at that point, there's nothing female about the female. So it's like all it is just I don't know a whatever version of it's more along the lines if you how to say call a wolf a dog, not necessarily a dog or cat. Yes, a wolf is a dog, part of the canine family, but they're not exactly like a dog as we define it. No, no, no. You're yes, absolutely not. It's more along the lines of characteristics, as in like what makes the female unique, the femininity part of it. But if you remove that, then essentially it's just a female with male attitude or male attributes and whatnot. It's essentially what makes us unique is lost. Kind of like if you make how to say, I don't know, a man into, in a sense, a woman in terms of actions and everything. It's you lose the unique aspect of that of a man. It's kind of like the same thing if you turn if you masculinize a female, it they lose the aspect of the feminine, which is the unique part of the female. I'm sorry, it's really struggling. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people are just uh, I have a lot of things to say about society as well. It's very sad to hear and see these kind of things, and it's I think in my opinion how easy society has become, and people are trying to fit in because us humans beings we're very social animals and we want to fit in, and we don't want to look bad, you know. So I completely understand that. Okay. Well, much love either though, man. But I have to draw the line and telling kids stuff they shouldn't hear. Yeah, I mean, let kids be kids for crying out loud. You know, a kid wanting to be a Thomas the Train Engine doesn't. Oh shit! Did I drop something? Thomas the Train Engine doesn't make him a train. You know, a lot of kids went through phases when they're young, and they're gonna keep going through phases. And just because they say something doesn't mean that's what they truly believe. It's just something they think at the time. And a lot of these things are, people telling them to believe in this kind of stuff and telling them that this is what you are. And I think that's kind of a sad part of society is the sheer fact that we don't let kids think for themselves or help kids think for themselves, reason with them. But instead, we kind of force ideas on them and tell them what to believe. So eventually, and again, like, what do you call it? A lot of people were raised so, how to say, sheltered that any kind of conflict or anything, they just kind of blow up and tear and break down just because they've never had any resistance in their life. Something that is very crucial as growing up is you need to have some struggles so that when you get older, you're able to handle your emotions, handle the struggle in general appropriately instead of just blowing up and whining like a kid. I completely understand all these things, man. What? What the hell did I say? Just to me, that's just common sense kind of things. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a. You'll be surprised about my growing up. I guess. I mean, I guess not so much, but a little bit. I'm trying to clean out my stuff so that it'll be clean for next time, and I don't forget to clean it out. Like I mean, again, I talk with some people about social stuff, and it's kind of sad. luckily enough, at least, you know, in my circle, it's you don't really talk about. You're playing World Eaters a couple of times this week, playing against them or as them. We need to raise critical thinkers and not sheep. Got two more that I need to paint with the gold, and two more that I do need to paint with the gold, but I need to find a freaking bolt pistol for those guys. And I did buy, I don't know if I bought, like I have all these extra power fists, but man, I have to build my stern guard and my heavy intercessors because they buffed them so much. I didn't intend on playing them, but now that they're buff, I'm like, crap, I should have painted them too. Yeah, I mean, I hear like a lot of crazy stories about what's going on in school stuff, and that's really kind of scary in my opinion too. Telling kids what to think as opposed to helping them critically think and learn the valuable lessons in life. In fairness, yes, their strength. I don't know what their original strength was, but they have an additional pip of AP now, and also the unit that gets burned. I think you choose one just in case you split fire. Gets a -1 to the leadership and has to take a leadership check. Stern Guard has all the same stuff. They went up in cost, but against their oath target, they get full rerolls to wound. So that is freaking amazing. So you oath target not only get full rerolls to hit, but because Stern Guard's ability says I get full rerolls to wound as well. Oh yeah, because you don't have to hit. They just auto hit. So you don't have to worry about that at all. And you being and also mind you, oath. Yeah, 10 points only. It was 90 to 100. But also your oath target +1 to wound if you're Codex compliant Space Marine. So that changes. So that's like, I was like, oh my god. I'm still playing my old list because I was compensating for a lot of things on the list. Now I kind of want to play test Stern Guard and Heavy Intercessors too. By the way, Heavy Intercessors have Strength 5, AP 1 damage, 2 weapons. The what you call it? The regular Intercessors has an ability called I don't know what it's called, but if you focus fire, you get 2 more shots. So you have 4 shots per Marine. 4 shots, Strength 4, AP 1, damage 1, I believe. But good lord, if you had sustained hits, which Titus is going to have sustained hits. Y'all be happy as Space Marines at the moment, finally. Hey, what's up, Troy? I'm about to call it, though, pretty soon here. Yeah, I have to try out Ultramarines for sure, but yeah. Those units maybe, I don't own any heavy. I love the heavy intercessors just because, you know, they're, for their points compared to the regular intercessors, they're worth it in my opinion. It is a bit more. I mean, it's +2 to toughness, +1 more to wound, because I think they're 3 wounds apiece, right? Hold on, I gotta take a look at that. Heavy intercessors, how many wounds they are. Plus they have higher strength weapons, and when they're on an objective against damage 1 weapons, they get +1 to their armor save. So it's like you have armor of contempt to AP 1 weapons, but if it's 1 damage, I get +1 to my save, so I'm saving on 2+ with freaking heavy intercessors. Yeah, 3 wounds and toughness 6 for like 15, like only 3 points per model. It was like 100% worth it. But then again, I'm not a pro player, so maybe that's the reason why. But yeah, regular intercessors, their new ability freaking rocks. They're, guess who got 2 thumbs? And like nice. Riders and the command squadron bites. Oh, you're not Codex compliant, so you don't get the +1 to wound. I forgot you are, you're the Paranoid Squad, Dark Angels. And fair enough for the Lion. He actually got buffed. I mean, he did like he has his little sweep attacks 2 damage now, which is kind of crazy because it's 16 attacks with sustained hits. He's still a freaking beast at 315 points, I believe. But anyways, I have to call it here. I have to call it here because I have work. So anyways, I try to stream every day around 4 to 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Try to stream at least for an hour. And try to stream for at least an hour. I'm trying to finish my Ultramarines, but ever since GW released that new set, now I'm like, crap, I have to paint my Heavy Intercessors, my Stern Guard, and actually some Librarians as well, because they actually released a Librarian squad. So anyways, if you like my content, I hope you consider subscribing. Thumbs up to stand down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.